Welcome to ESPN College Football. Our matchup today, the VMI Keydets and the Furman Paladins from slightly soggy Greenville, South Carolina. Two of the oldest rivals in the Southern Conference, all set to get after each other this afternoon in the first Southern Conference game of the year for both teams, the Furman Paladins and VMI Keydets. Hi again, everyone. I'm Chuck Hussion along with Sam Wyche. Furman coming off its biggest win in quite a while last Saturday night in Orlando, Sam, as they defeated the FBS team, the University of Central Florida, by a 16-15 margin, led by Trey Robinson, who was named National Player of the Week in FCS. And tell me, he is a very good one.
Well, he's a very good one, but he's a timely one, too. That last interception happened with less than a minute to go in the ball game to seal it for the Paladins, 16-15. But he had 10 tackles during the ball game. 7 of them were unassisted. In other words, by himself, he made the tackle. Coach Fowler told us earlier in the week he's 6'1", 212, just the size they like him in the pros.
All right, the Keydets are led by Al Cobb, the quarterback, and he is one of the top passers in FCS football nationally.
He is, and I've been watching him warm up. He's a timing thrower. He releases the ball prior to the receiver coming around and finding the ball in the air. Therefore, the defender doesn't have much time to knock it down. He's one of the top players. Reese Hanlon on the other side, one of the top quarterbacks. Going to be fun this afternoon.
One of the biggest games of the year so far for these two. It's the first conference game. Furman and VMI set to get after each other. We'll have the kickoff next on ESPN. Welcome back to Paladin Stadium. First official Saturday of fall as we get the Southern Conference season rolling for both Furman and VMI. And Bob Mahalik, who will be covering the sidelines today for us for the Mass General Store. A little fall-like weather today, huh?
Well, you can tell it's conference time because the weather certainly has changed. It has been consistently inconsistent down here on the field. A light drizzle for the past couple hours, and we're expecting that to continue. As you could probably see, the wind has been very inconsistent as well. At the moment, it's blowing from the VMI sidelines, kind of a crosswind, over to the Furman sideline. So the weather is definitely a factor.
Dylan Christopher, he's one of the best in the conference. Furman sends it to Logan McCarter. McCarter out across the 20 to about the 22-yard line.
I thought the best quarterback in the conference last year. Certainly got a lot of honors about it, but he's going to play under center and in the shotgun. You're smaller, more agile players. 2nd
and 8, Hannon. That probably was a lateral there. This is Luke getting loose. Tristan Luke, the freshman, out across the 33, picks up a first down. And Alan Kratzenberg, the inside linebacker, made the stop.
A little swing pass. This was, you're right. That was a lateral. If that ball had been dropped, it was a free ball.
And he throws the underneath route. Here's Logan McCarter, fumbles the football, and it's recovered by VMI. That was a problem last year, I should say, as Caleb Furlow comes up with that recovery. But last year, the trip to Lexington, Furman turned it over 4 times.
That was a low slant move. The inside receiver clears out. The outside receiver slants. Completed a nice game, but you just, like everything else, you catch, put the ball away, and hug it like it's your firstborn. You know you're going to get hit when you're running inside. Out-talk the conversation.
Coach Bruce Fowler in his 5th year now as head coach of the Furman Paladins, an alumnus, class of 81. Al Cobb looks right, then throws it left, and a good play that time by that Furman defense. Furman battling VMI, 2 of the oldest members of the Southern Conference. Just underway at Misty Paladin Stadium in Greenville, South Carolina. These 2 teams have been playing since 1946. Furman leads the overall series 23-9. VMI dominated the first few years, but then Furman ripped off 21 straight wins until last season when VMI stopped that with a 31-15 win.
You've got to look the ball all the way till you feel it in your fingertips and then put it away as you turn.
Dane 4 lines deep to receive the punt of J.C. Hollingsworth. And he takes it about the 27, and he got buried by Brad Mitter.
Good job by the return man splitting everybody until he got to the last guy. Miller didn't let him get by.
We are scoreless here in the first quarter. I'm Chuck Hussion, along with Sam Wyche. The head coach of VMI is Scott Wackenheim. He's in his first season, as you can see. He came from the University of Virginia. He was the offensive line coach there, and before that, Liberty University. First down 10 for the Paladins. Paladins home again next week as they take on South Carolina State, the final non-conference game of the season. Then it's all SoCon after that. On the road at Chattanooga, the Citadel comes to town on homecoming. Samford, Western Carolina, Bobby Lamb and the Mercer Bears in mid-November, and then a trip to Wofford.
The defender, the ball's in the air long enough for anybody to get to it, for both players to get to it, but watch right at the end. See how he boxed out the defensive man? No way he could get to it. Good play by VMI.
And they take it the last yard for the touchdown as Derek Ziegler, who comes in at fullback, gives VMI the early lead. Let's go to the sidelines now, and Bob Mahalik for the Mass General Store. Bob?
Well, certainly no panic on the Furman Paladins sideline, as they're not seeing anything different from VMI that they didn't expect. I mean, they're seeing exactly what they thought they would see. The coaching staff saying, look, at this point, it's not about scheme. It's just about execution.
So far, the Keydets have been the team that's doing the outplaying. Reese Hannon.
Yeah, he had that big game against Coastal Carolina to get the season started, accompanied by Craig Clark, the head football trainer for the Paladins.
You know, when those big guys get hurt, they don't know whether they're hurt real bad or not right away because they're big. Normally you don't get them backed up quite this good. This is a real good kick.
You see the SoCon standings. Chattanooga and the Citadel have won games. Samford and Western Carolina have lost. Everybody else is just getting into the fray. Chattanooga had a big win over Samford in Birmingham last Saturday. Furman football on ESPN3 presented by GSP Airport, official airport of the Furman Paladins, and by Cam Walters and the great folks at ACI Telecom.
The stats of that first half shows that VMI had the ball about half.
Furman, the defense, playing tough.
Al Cobb actually was coming up to make an audible to change the play. The center didn't realize what was happening, snapped the ball right into his sternum. In the NFL, if you try to pull a man out of a pile when they're going after a fumble, that's a penalty, a 15-yard penalty just to pull a man out.
He wears number 14. So first down 10 for Furman. And Hannon gets racked. The ball is loose. People diving in there was the one who put the hit on Reese Hannon. Watch it again. Yeah,
you can feel the pocket collapsing.
Situations. And play action, they throw wide open in the back of the end zone to Matthew Nicholson.
Matthew Nicholson, good for a VMI touchdown.
Play action froze the Paladins defense for just an instant. You're watching college football on ESPN. Welcome back. I'm Chuck Hussion along with Sam Wyche for the Mass General Store. Here's Bob Mahalik on the sidelines. Bob?
Well, the Furman offense not making any major adjustments. The coaching staff simply saying it's not so much what VMI is doing, but the Paladins are hurting themselves with the turnovers and with the penalties. And by the way, the inconsistent weather continues. It continues to rain a little bit harder as this game goes on.
Now, both defenses have actually played pretty well, and they've created turnovers, created the ball loose, didn't always turn the ball over. So a good spot that time, and enough for a first down.
Reese Hannon on the day. 10 of 18 for just 87 yards.
Yep, he hadn't had that big hit, had a couple drop too.
The gun once again. He's got McCarter out there, and he gets knocked out of bounds at the 32-yard line by Greg Sanders.
Furman showed several times the inside receiver clearing for the slant. This time the inside receiver clears and then turns back to the outside for the big gain.
Watch it again here.
Nice catch by McCarter, keeping his eye on the ball.
Late in the first half, Furman down 12-zip. Finally got the momentum going the other way on offense with that long drive. We'll come back. Furman football on ESPN3, presented in part by Courtyard by Marriott in downtown Greenville. Beautiful Falls Park, a great place to relax. In fact, my wife and I had dinner for her birthday right along Falls Park the other night. Great place to relax and visit. They've got a nice one in Punxsutawney, too.
Yeah.
Festival.
This one only lasts till about 10 a.m. It's over. Yeah, it's not much.
Well, Ashton is up, and he's able to walk off under his own steam. So Furman faces a big play here on 3rd down and goal to go from the 1-yard line. And where we are right now and the way things are going, you got to feel Furman's in 2-down territory to try to punch this thing in there.
Unless they take a big loss, I would say so. And now the field is cleared. They're in tight in their muscle formation. You're either going to power it in there or you're going to try to keep the ball and roll outside as a quarterback.
Ernie Kane has 4 touchdowns on the season rushing the football, and now he has 5. Ernie Kane, the senior fullback from Atlanta, gets Furman on the board.
He has all 5 rushing touchdowns by Furman this year. No one else has scored on the ground but Ernie Kane, number 22.
This is power football with a jumbo package in there, and a good lead block that time by the Furman. Finally gets on the board.
Well, it's important for them to do that, and they've left a minute and a half, which is a lot of time for a high potent offense like VMI.
Maybe a little soggy, but folks are tailgating on the beautiful Furman campus this afternoon. A little water in the succotash, but, you know, tailgating, that's one of the best parts of college football.
The first down movement of the chains.
Stick around halftime. We've got Nico Medved joining us to talk some hoops. And Furman down early, 14-zip. Let's go to Bob Mahalik, who's standing by now with Coach Bruce Fowler.
All right, Coach Fowler, the offense took a while to get going. How important was it to get 7 points before half?
Well, it's real important. Obviously, we got to, execute better. We've turned it over twice. I don't think so. We had a great week of practice. They're playing well, and we're not. It's the bottom line.
Well, the offense took a while to get going. Defense and special teams really did step up and keep this a close game.
Yeah, I mean, we got to, where it's a one-score game, right? They get the ball. We got to come out and have a good defense series and play better in the second half.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half. Furman down by 7 at home here in the SoCon opener.
Thank you, Bob. Welcome back. At the half, we visit with Furman men's basketball coach Nico Medved. We're in the beginning of football season here, but basketball, Nico, not too far behind. And you made that great run in the Southern Conference tournament last March, and I know that gives you some impetus going into this preseason.
Yeah, it's I think it was great momentum for our kids. It really brought some enthusiasm to the program and to our fans, and so hopefully that's something that we can build on. And
here with an update is Alex Ramsey.
Thanks, Chuck. Paladin teams opening up conference play this weekend as volleyball has 2 home matches while men's and women's soccer are on the road. I'll keep you updated and all you need to know on the Paladin postgame halftime report after the break. It's halftime at Paladin Stadium and we got a good one between Furman and VMI. Welcome back to halftime at Paladin Stadium. I'm Alex Ramsey with your Paladin postgame halftime report. Furman volleyball opened up SoCon play against East Tennessee State Friday night at Alley Gym. The Paladins knocked down 46 kills to ETSU's 27. Annie Bierman led the team with 13 kills and 12 digs, and Joe Wilkes dished out 40 assists. Despite the Buccaneers' early lead in the first 2 sets, the Paladins battled to sweep ETSU 3-0. The ladies continued their weekend home slate tonight against Mercer at 7:30. Women's golf wrapped up the 44th Lady Paladin Invitational on Tuesday at the Par 72 Furman University Golf Course. Taylor Totland and Alice Chin posted a 73 in the final round. Chin tallied 3 birdies while Totland also scored 3 birdies, good enough for 4th place. Furman finished second in the 17-team tournament. The ladies head to New Haven, Connecticut to compete at the Yale Intercollegiate on October 9th. The women's soccer team took on Sanford in their SoCon opener in Birmingham. Sanford scored early in the 7th minute and then again in the 59th minute to blank the Paladins 2-0, snapping a 3-game win streak. Carly Couch tallied 4 shots. The Paladins moved to 7-4 on the season, and they'll continue their road stretch at Chattanooga Sunday at 2 p.m. Men's soccer played VMI in Lexington, Virginia today at 2 p.m. to open up SoCon play. Stay tuned to FurmanPaladins.com to see how they did and for all your match highlights. That'll do it for this Paladin postgame halftime report.
Stadium, Southern Conference football today coming your way in Greenville, South Carolina. At the half, VMI leading the Furman Paladins by a 14-7 count. Let's take a look at the highlights now, Coach Sam Wyche.
And there were a lot of them. Both sides had a big half in terms of offense and defense, trying to steal the ball away from the other guy. Here you see Reese Hannon a little swing pass out to Tristan Luke. Squirts forward. That was a first down and an important drive.
Yeah, Furman spinning its wheels on offense early on.
They were, but the stats show they have 124 yards passing against 103 for VMI, and probably Al Cobb is as fine a passer there is in the country. So Furman's doing a pretty good job of containing him.
And that big punt return hit by Minter, and then Tristan Luke once again.
Yeah, Tristan Luke's having another big ball game. Of course, the strip of the quarterback had him that time to protection didn't hold up. And here's the big play down the field to get Furman into scoring position. And then the Ernie Kane going into the end zone for his 5th touchdown of the season. He's got them all so far.
All right, you see the halftime stats, and Furman out in front stats-wise, total offense-wise, but not on the scoreboard.
No, they're not. And really, look at the time of possession there. It's almost 2-1. And Furman looks as if they are getting beat by VMI. I mean, they are getting beat by but those numbers don't represent what we're seeing on the scoreboard. Both teams, though, will go into this half saying to themselves, save your timeouts. This is going to be a close game. Both teams may need those timeouts for a last drive. Let's see if they're able to do it going into it.
Big number on there. The 2 turnovers by Furman set up a couple of touchdown short field drives for VMI, and they were able to take advantage. We've got the second half kickoff coming up. VMI will get the football first as they elected to defer to the second half. Stick around. More Southern Conference football coming your way on ESPN. Furman football on ESPN3, presented by Hampton Inn River Place in downtown Greenville, South Carolina. Bob Mahalik on the sidelines for us today, and you had a chance to visit with VMI coach Scott Wackenheim. Bob?
Any sense of the imagination that Furman got that late score because he expected to be a 4-quarter game?
It misled me big time.
That was spotter breakdown.
Whoa!
There's a block punt. Picked up. Touchdown, Furman. Brian Ross got in there, blocked it, and Furman has almost pulled even.
In the game down at all. Don't agree with that. But as you watch that special teams play, tougher to pick it up. One of the things that Coach Wack talked about before this game started last week. If you recap the start of this second half, you had 3 and out. Defense did their job. Special teams comes in, blocks the punt. There's the block. And then the third try, get the ball up. Quick flag.
Cobb will throw it. The ball tap. And there's a pick. Furman Paladins with an interception as Byron Johnson gets the tip ball. We'll check the flag, though. Illegal procedure, the call against VMI. And the interception by Byron Johnson will stay.
Notice how many defensive players are around the ball right there in that frame. Right there, that's the difference in the second half and the first half. They're all hustling the ball, and guess what? They got lucky.
Welcome to college football on ESPN as we're back here at Paladin Stadium. The penalty against Furman, and they move the ball out to the 44-yard line where VMI will set up shop on this drive.
Good luck for Furman.
I know. I might just stay here. Yeah.
You gave Billy Turner
Right.
and myself
And Charlie.
Charlie
Yeah,
Mosley.
uh-huh.
You gave us an hour of your time. I know you didn't
Wow.
have an hour.
Well,
Did we sneak up on you on that one?
No, you know, the thing about it is that was one of my goals my first year.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I put these names together, but Grant Taft was the head coach
He was
when you
the
were
head
there.
coach,
Mike
right.
Singletary was a great linebacker
He was
for
a
the Bears.
senior when I was a freshman. So it was some great experiences. But, you know, there was a drought for a while. And then Baylor has come back strong.
Well,
Yeah,
listen,
Baylor's back big time.
And Sam, thanks for having me.
I hope this good mojo
I know.
continues for the Paladins.
I might just stay up here for a while.
All right.
You're welcome to.
Dr. Elizabeth Davis with us. Back with more after this. Furman football on ESPN 3 is presented by Carolina Pride Foods, a taste of Southern flavor, and by Roost, handcrafted food and drinks in downtown Greenville. Furman's ball, first down, 10 yards to go at their own 20-yard line in a 14-14 game. A strong run by Wilcox. There's a snap bobbled, and yikes.
Oh, boy.
Ryan Francis ate that one up as Wilcox.
Watch as the ball gets there. He's got to bend over to catch the ball and make sure he gets the catch, and you end up going down, and, of course, there's no run after the catch. Yeah, I used to tell receivers, catch the ball first. Let's get that part of it done.
3rd down and 2, and
See what happened there was the exchange of punts left Furman with field advantage. Here's the quarterback comparison right here. Reese Hannon has an edge. Cobb came into this game needing 115 yards to get to 1,000 yards throwing this year alone.
drive alive at the VMI 45-yard line. Here's Hannon. He's going to airmail that one to the SC Telco sign over there.
Well, the drama continues down here on the sidelines as the rain continues to come down harder. It's getting darker, and the coaching staff of VMI sort of sounds like one of those NFL Films productions that maybe Coach Wyche can relate to. They are saying, guys, this is what it's all about. It's a dogfight, and we, VMI, if we want to go to the next level and be a big-time program, these are the kind of football games we got to win.
Paladins are going to face 3rd down and 3 yards to go. Lights are on here. The fog is rolling in at Paladin Stadium, and we get a timeout. Not sure those haircuts work for me. Back with more right after this. I'm Chuck Hussion along with Sam Wyche. Bob Mahalik on the sidelines for us this afternoon. Light drizzle, couple of umbrellas out there, but most folks enjoying this battle between VMI and the Furman Paladins. Here's your trivia question presented by Bojangles. How many football games has Furman University played over the course of program history? I formation. Tristan Luke dots the I. And here's the keeper. Into the end zone goes quarterback Reese Hannon.
Don't celebrate too much, fellas. Just stand up, leave the field. Chuck, that was actually the option play. That wasn't a fake or a rollout or a bootleg, but it was well executed. Reese Hannon did the smart thing. I got both hands on the ball. No sense risking a fumble.
Is that a read strictly? He looking at the defensive end and reacting to what the defensive end does?
Slow getting up a little bit.
Sideline warning for Furman. This is their first warning.
Always made his offensive linemen wear knee braces.
Yeah, well, he was an offensive lineman, you know, for many years for the Green Bay Packers as well. And he Bill Curry also started Georgia State football.
He
They're
did.
in the Atlanta area. And I guess it's in downtown Atlanta.
Yes, it is.
The campus is.
Yeah. They're in the
noticed
Sun
they're
Belt.
playing big-time football this year. They're all Division I this year.
Yeah, they're in the Sun Belt Conference now. They're arch rival Georgia Southern. You see as the right tackle, Stephen Miller. Big play by cornerback Rodney Anderson. Watch it again as we go out. We head for the 4th quarter here at Paladin Stadium on a very rainy type Saturday afternoon. Here's the game story as we enter the 4th quarter of play. Furman up 21-14. VMI threatening here. The block punt, the big play that got Furman in front.
This will be an interesting call here because they're making this call having decided on whether they will go for it on 4th down or not. And with still plenty of time to play in the 4th quarter, they might just go for the field goal and let the next touchdown be the game winner.
Ziegler,
but they won't have to worry about it.
Powers in there. VMI is at home to play Bucknell. This is one of 5 games in the Southern Conference today, but the only conference showdown.
Right.
You see the Furman schedule. After next week, after the SC State game, it's all Southern Conference, including a trip to number 9 Chattanooga to start that string off. That at Finley Stadium on Saturday afternoon, October 10th.
Well, the Furman Paladin defense now knows the game will rest on their shoulders, at least in one part. And keep this in mind, almost every time before the Furman Paladins went back out onto the field for defense, the coaching staff told them, watch for the trick play, watch your back.
And then they also know which way we're going. And we're going to find out the answer to the Bojangles trivia question.
How many football games has Furman University played over the course of its program's history? And the answer is 1,083. Sam, did you have that?
That's exactly, no.
Pass over the middle, it's caught. And this is Duncan Fletcher still on his feet down to the 42-yard line. Flag is down. Coming up today on the Southern Conference, all these games yet to start. Chattanooga at Presbyterian and Clinton. Samford at Louisville. Charleston Southern, the Citadel, and Wofford and Gardner-Webb, 4 lines on the reception.
Holding, defense, 10 yards. That results in a first down.
Now, they didn't give a number, but it's a 10-yard penalty, so that's a big break for VMI. It's going to take it in the red zone, I think.
Oh, yeah. This will be.
Nope. They're going to put it down at the 21, excuse me.
Yeah.
So first down and 10 yards to go just outside the red zone.
You know, it always bothers me when the officials cannot identify who does the holding.
Yeah.
And
an empty backfield, throws a slant. That pass is intercepted.
Hold on to that ball. Hold on to that ball.
Reggie Thomas. He's out to the 50-yard line. Then he fumbles. Who's got it? They're still unstacking him. Reggie Thomas came up with a pick. And we'll see who has it. They're still unstacking him. And I think Furman got it. Furman did come up with a football. No, it's gone the other way. Carl Ryder comes up from the bottom of the pack. Second down, 1 yard to go. You see Reese Hannon's numbers on the day. Still looking for a touchdown pass. Clock rolls inside the 6-minute mark now.
Especially when you're from behind. The receiver has the advantage. He's behind the defender, and the defender is pounding the receiver. Generally, that's called interference.
Let's get Bob Mahalick's view. He was on the sidelines for the Mass General Store, and we'll see his thoughts on it as he's checking on Suttles as he comes off. Watch it again. Looks like Suttles came down on his hand or arm. He walks off under his own power, so hopefully he's okay.
Many times the interception happens when you throw back to the middle of the field.
Luke Cuneo is a holder. This will be a 43-yard attempt. Hollingsworth gets his foot into it. It's on the way, and the kick is good! J.C. Hollingsworth, 55-yarder to win it against UCF a week ago. Today knocks through what is officially a 42-yard field goal to Furman trying to even its record. Time now for the Town Place Suites by Marriott play of the game. And that block punt by Ross takes it to the end zone. At that time, gave Furman a tie game. Brian Ross with the play of the game. Furman flagged for excessive celebration, but who wouldn't celebrate?
I know.
It's an exciting time. This Cobb, straight drop. And the ball batted up in the air. Cobb comes down with it, and that's going to be the ball game. He fumbles it. Furman picks it up.
Go down.
And Johnson has it. Byron Johnson comes up with a football, and Furman battles it out. Paladins gut one out, the first SoCon win of the season, as Furman wins it over VMI 24-21. Wow. This game was fun to watch. You're a fan. I know as a coach, it was not good. But
that's right. I'm half eaten up inside, and as a fan, it was a great game to watch.
Thank you, Sam.
Just try to throw a compliment.
Well, we all compliments accepted. Great game here at Furman as the Paladins Stadium. Great game to watch, and we'll do it again next week here on ESPN3 when the South Carolina State Bulldogs come in. There's the story on today's game. As you can see, Furman pulls it out. The 42-yard field goal by J.C. Hollingsworth in the fourth quarter for the second week in a row. The difference in the game as the Paladins win it 24-21.
Yeah, outscoring VMI 17-7 in the second half. That was a big difference. Remember, going in the first half, I was kind of getting on Furman's case that they didn't look like they had the energy they had a week ago, but they certainly came out of the second half, and they had it big time.
All right, family weekend, a happy one for the Paladins as they get the victory over VMI. And for Sam Wyche, Bob Mahalik, and our spotter, I'm Chuck Hussion saying so long from Paladin Stadium, where the final score is Furman 24-21. Graham Reynolds, great job on the spotting today. To watch this entire game on replay as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.